Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing today? Thanks for joining us for another episode with Deb and Hillary. I'm just doing some technical things here. All right, hold on. Save changes. Yeah, something just glitches. Today, Deb and I, we are here for another episode of the Tuesday Ready, Set, Grow show. All right. And we are talking about overcoming what's stopping you. You've got beliefs. We all do. We all have them. And they are sometimes very limiting and they stop us from doing what we're meant to do, stopping us from our growth, stopping us from achieving what we're meant to achieve in life and business. And today we're going to talk about that. All right. Because we have been infused in a lot of training within the last 2 days, last 3 weeks, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about it is that, when you open yourself to be trained and you be open, you hear different things. And one of the things that you'll hear us talking about is even though we're hearing the same thing again, we're hearing it in a different way because the person you were when you first heard it is a different person today, and
Right.
you'll be a
Right.
different person tomorrow. So be open to hearing the same thing because you're going to be in a different place every time you hear it. All right. So, Deb, we're going to talk about, and last night, I think we covered something which I think, it was at the right time because, we what we say to ourselves, our self-talk has a lot of impact in what we're able to do on a day-to-day
More
basis.
more than any of us want to give credit for.
Credit.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what we think really impacts what we do or what we don't do. All
Right.
right. And we have these this negative self-talk all the time. And it's really about kind of reversing it, turning it up on its head and saying, no, be gone. And then tomorrow you're going to hear it. And then you're going to have to say, no, be gone. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next day, and it's going to be almost every day you fight it. All
Yep.
right. And one of the things that I was sharing with Deb was that this week I just felt like I was not worth it. I felt like I was struggling, and I just I the training hit me at a point where I was giving myself a lot of limiting beliefs. That I can't do it, that I'm not good enough, I'm not skilled enough. And a lot of those things we tell ourselves, and some of the things that we'll share today are around all of those that negative self-talk. And I
Mm-hmm.
want Deb to share her story really quickly about that.
Um, like you said, we've been kind of immersed in this challenge 2 weeks ago, this week, but in between, we still were working and hearing
Yeah.
and reliving what we had heard that first week. Well, yesterday, one of the gentlemen that spoke talked about the same thing as 2 weeks ago. But yesterday, the one thing that he said hit me like a ton of bricks, and I just kind of like it just kind of like went over my head 2 weeks ago, and it was, I am not famous, I am not an influencer, and nobody knows who I am. And I'm like, oh my golly, I am maybe not famous as far as star power, but I am an influencer. I do know a lot of stuff. Um, Nobody knows me. Well, I've been on Facebook for 3 years. I have quite a few followers. And so, yeah, but this little voice just kept reiterating what Ollie had said. And it's like, no, that's not true. I have value. I have value to give to people. But like Hillary said, last 2 weeks ago, I was a different person than I was
Mhm.
yesterday. And I'm
Yeah.
even a different person today than I was yesterday. So the limiting beliefs, we all have them. We all have to fight them. Um, I kind of put it towards, you may call it something else. I call it the evil one. who does
Mhm.
not want me to succeed. And so he just kind of he'll keep replanting. Just got to push it away.
Yeah.
So that was the nugget that I really got yesterday. One of the nuggets,
Yeah.
but that was the biggest.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the things, I wanted to share because we were exposed to, and it's something that we know, but to hear it again, and it was the first time I actually wrote down what these limiting beliefs were, the 10
Uh,
most common. It was the first time I wrote them down because I needed to see them to really truly identify, yes, I do have that limiting belief. Yes, I do. And now what am I going to do about it? Right? The so what, the so what question. Right. So one of the first, and I'll read them, and you could, jump in and share. But
okay.
the first two are kind of like on either side of each other. It's the fear of success and the fear of failure. Right. And we hear this all the time. Everybody is afraid to succeed. All right. Because with success comes great responsibility. All right. And unless you are somebody that really wants to go out there and have the world on your shoulders, sometimes the mere fact and the knowledge of what success will bring. Success is hard work, right? It's not your walk in the park. You don't just sit down and it's like, oh, everything's cool and honky dory. No, success is hard work, and it comes with a lot of responsibility. So there are tons of people who are actually afraid of being successful because they don't want all of that in their life. It kind of complicates their life in a
Right.
sense, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then on the
Uh,
flip side of that is the fear of failure, right?
um, I can speak to the success part because
Mm-hmm.
something just happened to me um, just this week, well, at the end of last week. And
Mm-hmm.
it is a success step for me.
Yes, yes.
I'm like, oh my golly, I don't know about this. That was it was a goal of mine. And I'm like, yes, I hit it. And then it was like, okay, okay. What are people going to think? I'm going to have to perform more, And but then it's like, no, that's why I'm on this journey. But you see, I've been on this journey for almost 11 years, and this honestly was the biggest success that I have had since I've
Mm-hmm.
been in this community, since I've been on this journey. And yeah, okay, I hit my goal. Oh no, what do I do? I'm not used
Do
to this. No, 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 I can't. There's that fear of
yeah.
going on, the fear of success.
Mm-hmm.
But I also kind of have the fear of failure because I have another goal that I already have set, and I've had it set. So you have to be very careful. It's very, very fragile. And we have to be aware of that. And that's what Hillary and I are trying to bring to you is some awareness of these limiting beliefs that
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
everybody has.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because even like in our own, like here in Trinidad, see a lot of people not doing what they want to do because they're really afraid of what it's going to take. All right. What is it going to take? Because when you hit, I could imagine like when you hit that goal, you're thinking to yourself, okay, now I have to bring other people there. I have to make other people reach
Mhm,
that goal. And that is success, right? You
mhm,
are trying to get people. It's almost like teachers, right? I think of teachers where if a teacher has reached a certain level, they want their students to get to that level. And
right,
that is what leaders are. Leaders are bringing other leaders up. So if you're afraid of success, it's not so much that you're afraid, but it's afraid of the work that you're going to have to do once you've made it. Because once you've made it, you just can't stay there alone. You've got to bring other people with you.
right,
You have to. The other thing is the fear that we're not good enough. And this is something that, we struggle with all the time. But it's self-talk again. You're not good enough. Well, you are. You have everything. And there was something that I read. I wrote it almost 3 years ago, and I'll read it. It's from the 1 Minute Millionaire book, right? And for those who've read the book, you know what.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. And it says, today I am enough. I am smart enough, resourceful enough, confident enough. I'm connected to enough people to accomplish my heart's desires. I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. Today, I am enough.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, as what Deb was saying, the person that she was 2 weeks ago is a different person today. That's why every day you have to tell yourself, today I am enough to
Right.
accomplish
Right.
whatever is the task that's been set before me.
And that's
Right?
the thing. We have to talk to ourselves every single day.
Every single day.
Not everybody has a strong support system around them. Every one of us have non-believers around us also. But
Yes, we all
so
do.
that's why we have to take it upon ourselves. That's why we have to do the personal growth, the 1 minute millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And, amongst other things, I'm reading The One Thing. That's the book that I'm into right now. And so we have to continue the personal growth, which will help us with that limiting belief system that goes
Mm-hmm.
on.
Yeah, definitely. The last two, they kind of like connected as well. So, you know how the first two, it was like the fear of success, the fear of failure. The last two that we want to talk about and share with you today is the fear of not being loved or not being liked, and then the fear of rejection. So they kind of go hand in hand. In business and anything, you're going to hear no. You're going to hear, well, no, I'm not interested. It's kind of like, when people walk into a store. And I used to observe this because I do a lot of online shopping, even, from Trinidad. Um, and every so often, you'd go into the store just to see what things are like. Right now, we can't do that because of COVID, but you know, uh, but every once in a while, you'll walk into the store and you're just browsing. You're literally just looking and you're looking. You just want to see what's there. You have no intention of buying. And the sales clerk comes all excited, And then when you tell her, no, I'm just looking, do you ever notice that body language, how it just goes, like they're
Yeah,
so disappointed, right? Because your purchase is directly related to their commission.
right.
And the body language just goes, oh, because, oh, I got another no. Oh,
Yeah,
somebody else isn't buying. And we have this fear. Now, the funny thing is we face that with jobs, right? If you're in a job, like if you're a salesperson in your job, telecommunications or whatever the case may be, you take those no's like anything because you know that you have to get to a yes. But when it comes to your own business, you wouldn't step out there to even hear the no, because you wouldn't even step out to hear the no because you're so afraid of hearing the no, and it's like
yep,
you got to hear no before you hear yes.
yep,
And sports, there are tons of sports analogies with that, where you have to fail before. Like when I was a track athlete, I don't know how many times, like we used to run 150 meters to prepare for the 100-meter race,
mhm,
right? And it was our goal to try and get as close to our 100-meter time running the 150. Now, if anybody knows math, that's like impossible, right? Because you're literally pushing your body to run a time for a distance that's 50 meters longer. Okay, no problem. But that was the goal that we set. Now, as track athletes, did we go out there and say, well, we're never going to do that, so let's not even try? No. Every week, we went out there and practiced. We knew we weren't going to hit that time, but we still strove for it anyway
yep.
because that was the goal. And we went at it and we went at it. And you know what happened? When we ran the 100-meter race, our time was even better
Hmm.
than we set,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And
And
that's just the process, yeah.
yeah, and you have to understand those no's, unless they say absolutely not, don't talk to me again, don't call me, whatever, that no is not right now. It's not my time right now. That's not exactly what's coming out of their mouth, other than the no, but that is what, in a sense, they are implying. It's not my time right now. It's just like I have spoken, oh gosh, weeks and weeks ago, knowing this challenge was coming up to a couple of people. No, I can't. I just can't. And guess what? Somebody else talked to them like the end of last week, and they're in this week's challenge.
Challenge.
When I talked to them, it wasn't their time yet.
Okay.
So you have to keep that into perspective, and you can't take those no's personally. Just chalk it up and just say, oh, may I follow up with you? And if they say yes, then that will reassure you that it's not their time. They're not saying no to you. They're saying no to it's not my time.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. And the thing, sometimes when you said something there, when we take it personally, that's the fear of not being liked.
Mhm.
Because everybody wants to belong, everybody wants to feel like, yes, you like me. But if you are personally attached to the results, all right, emotionally attached to the results, then that fear is going to set in. All right. And that's what you don't want. You want to divorce yourself from the result. You focus on the action, but divorce yourself from the result.
Because in the long run, what you're trying to do is build a relationship.
Exactly.
And so if you take offense to their no, you've put up a guard.
Oh God, exactly.
How can you build a relationship like that? So you just say, okay, because I can't tell you how many times I've heard this. We're there to build a relationship, but they can smell your commission breath if you are not truly looking at them to help them to build that relationship with them. You're just thinking about the dollars.
Dollars.
No,
Yeah.
that you got to put that away. And so, you just, it's relationship building. And I'm trying to think, what is it? Learn, grow, serve. Is that what Debbie and Billy say?
Learn, grow, serve. Yes, learn, grow, serve.
Yes. And so if you can remember that, learn, grow, serve. You're learning to build yourself because you're growing, because you're learning, and therefore you can serve people.
Exactly. And if you think about the service first, everything else falls into place.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Yep.
So thank you for joining us today on this Ready, Set, Grow. We will be here again next week, Tuesday, Deb and I, and tomorrow I will be on. We may be a little late again because we're going through the challenge again. All right. For those of you who are still interested. All right. Yeah. So we went through it. We're going through it again. So there's always nuggets to learn, always new things to grow. Ready, Set, Grow. That's the name of the show. And we're inviting you to grow. So reach out to either Deb or myself, wherever you're watching this, to learn how you too can take part in this challenge to grow yourself first, grow your business, and then grow your network. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon, everybody.
Bye. Have a great week. I'll see you next week.